Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to Phil's Recap and Review. This is for Better Call Saul, Season 5, Episode 2, 50% off, the Season 5 premiere Night 2. I'm sorry I'm a little bit late this evening. I didn't know that it was going to be on at 9 o'clock, so I made plans earlier in the evening, and so I was out, and I didn't get back until closer, and then I realized actually the episode had aired at 9. I guess that will be I'm hoping that's its regular time period, but I remember certain seasons Better Call Saul has aired at 10 p.m., so I was a little bit confused, but next week I will be on right after the episode airs. Sorry about that. I watched the second one, and then this is just my insanity working. Then I realized, as someone in the live motherfucking chat, because I'm not alone, I have with me the live motherfucking chat, one of those folks had said, excuse me if anyone heard that. Someone said, oh, you can DVR it, or you didn't DVR it. I did, and I realized that about halfway through the episode. That's why I'm on a little bit earlier than anticipated now. So, whatever. That's a whole bunch of mess for not a whole bunch of crap, but another awesome episode of Better Call Saul. I like this as a second episode of the season, proceeding the storylines along. A lot of interesting stuff, a lot of texture kind of stuff going on in this particular episode. We got Nacho brought back into the story, and he seems to be someone, at least from my perspective, on the show that creates a lot of emotion around his fate. If any of the characters that we care about are to disappear potentially, Nacho is one of them, and I hope not, as they're doing a lot to make us like him, just like Nacho's trying to make Lalo like him by turning into Batman and jumping roof to roof and stealing drugs and doing all sorts of awkward intangibles, and I like that about Nacho. Mike, what's up with Mike yelling at Haley there? Mean pup, come on, asshole, hold that inside. But yes, we see another side of Mike tonight, which is interesting to see what kind of person Mike will get when the pressure is on. He is someone that leaves Kaylee in the playground alone to flee when push comes to fucking shove. So of course, when she pushes a little too hard, he'll push a little hard on her too. But I thought that was an interesting scene, and the Jimmy and Kim stuff is also very interesting, and we'll go through that. But I think on some level, here we go. Here I am. The Jimmy and Kim stuff is very much just a pot boiling. It's gonna get there. It's gonna get to that insane point, but it's not quite there yet. Mike is one of the best characters, if not the best character. I'm here. The video is here. Don't worry. You have to deal with my goofy ass for a little bit. Let me put the camera off for one more second though. Okay. So I'll be back in a moment. On camera, I mean. So this was a great second episode of the season to see the direction. We see Hector in this particular episode as well, back in full Hector from Breaking Bad form. We see that really sick side of Gus that I don't know how, just that threat to Nacho, of the threat of possibly hurting his family. There's a lot of intensity going on around that, and again, around the Nacho's fate and the fate of his family, because I think that's one of the similar to Saul's relationship with Kim. And yes, I do know we have a voicemail from Jay, and if anyone else wants to leave a voicemail, you can do that at 781-990-8509. And that's not just while the show is live. If you want to get in 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, about pretty much any television show or any drunk dialing that you want to, and just let those issues fly, you can use that hotline. Text me random shit, leave me voicemails like this. Jay, I will play your message later, but you can also leave me messages like this if you want. This is a message I got earlier this evening.
Ooga booga, ooga booga, ooga booga, ooga booga, ooga booga.
But I mean, that's a wonderful message. I have no problem with that message. You can blow up my voicemail line with ooga boogas if you want. It's okay. So whatever you want to do on the Issues hotline, I can't promise I'll play every single one of those. I'll play this occasional one, or I'll play one and say it was 1,000 times. But whatever, you get the point. And but the Kim and Jimmy stuff is interesting because I don't think we're going to see closure or much being dealt with that to substantially to a certain extent, or it coming to a head till the middle point of this season. And I think when it does come to a head, it's going to come to a big head. Or is she going to learn to deal with it? I think it could go possibly in two different directions. I think that's why we had the scene with them looking at the house tonight, because, and I think I'm going to play Jay's message here in a second, but because I read a little bit of the preview, I think it might be in reference to what I'm talking about here. But I think it's interesting that we saw Kim looking at the house, looking at that future that could possibly exist, that theoretically could exist in the Breaking Bad timeline. I don't know if that was a little goosing of people like me that thinks that Kim might still be around, or if that was just Jimmy being an idealistic person in that moment, thinking he could have that and it's the dream he'll never get. I don't know. And, oh my goodness. I thought I saw the whole season. Am I tripping? Maybe you took some magic mushrooms. It is possible. I think Kim is going to get hooked on meth. Very possible. Anything is possible here with the fate of Kim and the fate of Nacho. Realistically, we know the fate of most of the characters and what is to happen. And again, this isn't taking anything away from it, but I was talking about this last night, that prequel-itis-ness that exists for some people. It's a real condition. I have it sometimes. When Lalo's talking to Hector about what is Gus building? What is Gus doing? That's not as interesting to me as seeing the fate of Jimmy and Kim's relationship, or seeing, and this is just personally to me, or seeing how Nacho's story wraps up, or seeing how Mike and Nacho's relationship develops, because it's something I haven't seen, or I'm not sure where it ends. The Gus situation with the Salamancas, you know the beats of that. It's interesting. I'm having fun with it, and to some people, that's the most interesting part of the show. I know I've talked to a lot of people that what they love, and this is what's cool about a show like Better Call Saul. Some people like that new stuff, or the different, the lower key human dynamic stuff. And then in these later half of the season, since they've introduced Gus, they've really been able to bring in that Breaking Badness feeling into it to a certain extent, and to learn more about the cartels and learn more about Gus, and hopefully eventually learn more about what happened in Santiago, like all those little things that they're dropping to add more weight to the universe and weight to that stuff into Breaking Bad, and making Breaking Bad a fuller show through this show. And I like that a lot. And I'm not, and I don't, that's what I want to be clear, that I'm not saying fuck that shit. But the stuff that really gets me on this show, and the questions that I really have that need to be answered, or are what happens to Kim? What's Jimmy's storyline? How much of Jimmy's left in the Saul that we see? How does Jesse meet him initially before? Silly stuff like that, but But yes, so I'm very excited about so much coming up in this season. Let's go. Good evening, Big E. Oh, but I don't know if I properly introduced these motherfuckers. I'm not alone. Joe Dirty Locks wishes he could be with us tonight. I have a brief little voicemail that Joe, if you're watching this, you know Joe, call the voicemail hotline and leave the fucking voicemail, because I have it on my fucking phone, and for some reason I'm trying to I got wires over here. I'm trying to hook this up to the board, and it's not fucking working. So I'm gonna like play the voice message into the phone here. And that's really gonna fuck with my sandwich eating. So let's, before we go any further, let's go over to here. Let's listen to our good boy Joe Dirty Locks. But I forgot to mention, I am not alone. Joe might be with me. We might do a podcast on Thursday afternoon Eastern Standard Time. I don't know why do I have to say it like that? Why can't I just announce it? Why does it have to be a whisper? Why can't I advertise? Everybody, there might be a show on Thursday afternoon with Joe and Phil talking about Picard, and also getting a little bit of Joe's thoughts on that other show. What is it? What did Joe think? What did Joe think? What did Joe think? What did Joe think? Was it good, or did it really fucking stink? To answer your question, Jay, the show will air on Mondays. I believe, I don't know if it's going to be 10 p.m. or 9 p.m. I really don't know that. I know it, in my memory of the last time it aired, it was at 10 p.m., but I could be wrong, and it could be 9 to 10. I'm hoping that they brought it to 9, but Monday nights is the night that Better Call Saul will live. You're not late. We haven't even started. I need someone to do it for me. Timothy, she was in all blue in this episode. And Timothy, great pickup in the sense that all those little things on this show matter. That's one of those things I love so much about Better Call Saul. So let me do this first before I forget later, as I start to get tired later. Let me play Joe's voicemail. I'm just going to turn up my microphone. I'm turning up my microphone, and then I'm going to play the voicemail. So here we go. Let me know in the chat if you can't hear this.
Hey, this is a voicemail for Better Call Saul episode 1. Wow, so good. Television done right. Again, I don't know how many times I can say that after every episode of Better Call Saul, but goddamn. Vince and these guys, they know what they're doing. It's amazing. I can't wait for episode 2. I'll watch that, Tuesday morning when I get home from work, but hey, and you guys get to watch that tonight. I'm a little bit jealous. There's not too much I could say about just how good it is, that show, but I don't know, hopefully I'll talk to everybody in the MFC later this week. It's good to be getting back at this. Got a great spring lineup here. Some Picard, some Better Call Saul, some The Hunters on Prime. Oh, God, this new Jason Segel thing out. Anyway, we got a lot to talk about. Hopefully we'll catch up soon. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks to Joe Dirty Locks, who was, shut up. Shut the fuck up, Joe. Thanks to Joe Dirty Locks, who was on his way to work, good enough to leave us a voicemail and say hi to everybody. Cheers to Joe, who hopefully will be on this week on Thursday afternoon, as he has Wednesday evening off. So we'll try to get in with Joe this week to get you guys some fun. Joe, maybe rant a little bit about this week's episode of The Walking Dead. We'll see about that. We can't. I can make no promises on a Joe rant. They have to be organic. So. Callers tell the dynamics absolutely are in the Breaking Bad universe, and something that is stuck around through the whole series. And I think it's one of those things that they've explored even more on Better Call Saul. It's definitely something that was well explored on Breaking Bad, but it's one of those traits of the show that has carried through and been expanded on. Same with the montage, the music montage. That we got an exceptional one again this evening. They just keep topping it. We got the Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas part at some point that was fucking well edited, like an Oliver Stone movie at times. Really cool stuff. But Phil the Issues Guy, if Kim doesn't die, do you think a show about where she goes after Better Call Saul would be something you would want to watch? If Kim doesn't die, maybe webisodes or something like that. I don't know. Yes, if Vince, I'll say this. If I know he said that after this he wants to kind of go away from this universe and do something completely different. I've heard him talking about that. But if they ever touch on in this universe again, I wouldn't mind seeing some more stories in this universe in some fashion. Because I know if he's going to do it, he's going to do it right. Even something with El Camino, and those are the people that maybe think it's unnecessary, even most of the people that I've heard talk about it that might say, whatever, don't deny that it's competent and well done and doesn't take anything away from the universe except for maybe personally, I don't see it taking away anything. It's a lot of people, the biggest complaint I hear for it is it's not something that was needed. Maybe it could have been a few episodes in like a good complaint. Maybe it could have been a mini series instead of a 2-hour movie or something. But my point is, if they're going to choose to go back to this world, this whole team, they're going to come up with something good. So it's one of those things that I don't want to whinge too much about. So if they think there's enough interesting stuff, but personally, if you're asking me, because I can't answer a simple fucking question, I do think the Kim character is interesting enough, and I would like to see where her character goes after all of this. But I think it's also something to do with the dynamic that her and Bob Odenkirk have on screen together that creates something unique. And I'm not sure if Saul could be a guest appearance on it a little bit. El Camino was really cool. I loved it. Platoon was amazing. Great movie. Oh, go Joe. Miss you, man. John Doe has a very good point here. The bookend of episode 2 were broken gnome on the ground and dropped ice cream cones, symbolizing the end of good times. I loved my El Camino too, but like I said, someone commented on the El Camino, one of my El Camino video recently, and I'm not going to give the justice to the commenter because I'm not giving their name, but if you're listening to this, because I responded and I'm giving you credit for making taking your point. That the only complaint I'll give about El Camino, and it's not a complaint, it's a selfish bastard thing, that I feel like I wanted even more. I feel like I could have dealt with 2 episodes of a Breaking Bad television style series in that. And I know Vince wanted to do a movie. There was something about the appeal of doing that, putting it in the theater, a new challenge in that kind of format. But like I could have dealt with 2 or 3 episodes of Jesse hanging out with Skinny Pete and Badger and hiding him and hijinks, do some Weekend and Bernie's kind of stuff. I don't know, just funny ways of hiding Jesse. But I mean, I'm kidding to a certain extent, but I feel like there's some areas of El Camino where selfishly I feel like I could have wanted more, especially when you watch how measured and how much Better Call Saul can take its time and still produce great content. An episode like tonight's episode, really, like, some interesting stuff happened. In a lesser series, this could be okay, whatever, stuff happened this episode. But every moment, and that's what I mean to say with like the Hector and the Lalo scene, where you know what they're talking about. Everyone knows. There's an elephant in the room that everyone that's seen Breaking Bad knows exactly what he's building something. But it's still 2 great actors in a well-filmed scene with great audio, with the bell ringing and stuff. It gives you enough. They don't mail in any scene, even with information that is known. The show home scenes was sad. Shows what could have been if Jimmy had fled straight. I agree. And I'm choosing, because I'm delusional, to hope that it's good times to come for Jimmy. Every season has Jimmy looking for real estate for the 2 of them, right? Some form of real estate. That's a very good point, Lily of the Fox Valley. Aliens, Brian Todd. It's definitely aliens. I think Kim does not die. It's so much more tragic for her to be in the world, but not with Jimmy. I think I agree with Melly on that 100%. I think that the fate, realistically, I mean, I'm playing Harry Hopeful. I'm putting on my dark sunglasses here, and I'm like, I'm playing Harry Hopeful here. And I'm hoping that the best of things, that Kim and Jimmy make it in this world. No, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm playing that, I'm going to say devil's advocate, Cupid's advocate here, that somehow it works out that she accepts Jimmy for who he is, and the end of this series isn't so much, except for the Gene stuff, but the end of the Jimmy and Kim saga essentially is her accepting him as this bullshit artist and understanding that she has to compartmentalize things to a certain extent, and he has his life, she has his life, but they live in a place together and they make a life together until the time of Walter White screwing all of that up. But that's not going to be the case. That's really not going to be the case. What's going to happen most likely is Jimmy is going to be dead to Kim at some point. Once she realizes, or she's going to whatever him, essentially. Yeah, I'm being totally Harry Hopeful here. I'm wearing my dark sunglasses. Actually, this isn't bad. Maybe I'll start being that guy. Or as the wrinkles build up a little bit more, when I have like big rings under my eyes, I'll pretend to be cooler than I really am and wear the sunglasses. I will. I'll check your message in one moment before I get into recap, Jay. Definitely. Absolutely. Moving on. Time for the recap. No, I'm kidding. I love you, Jay. Here we go. Let's play Jay's message right now because it's probably relevant to Kim's stuff. And we haven't heard Jay in a little bit. Kim is a dead bird, says Hannibal. And I am Harry hopeful. I'm totally Harry hopeful. These are like De Niro playing Al Capone in The Untouchables sunglasses here. You pretty boy. You fucking pretty boy. Promises. Okay, here we go. Sorry, Jay.
Hey, what's up, fellas? Jay.
Hey, Jay.
I have one little problem with your theory that, like, Kim is, like, alive and, like, they're married now. If Saul has a wife, I know we don't find out much about his home life in Breaking Bad, but don't you think at some point when he's doing all these things, they would have just gone, hey, I gotta get home to the old lady, or, like, something, because he's, like, always out doing whatever, like, he doesn't seem like he has someone at home that, like, is, like, wanting him to come home or whatever. You have a girlfriend? I think if you just spent, like, a whole week just, like, never coming home or something, at some point your girl would call you and be like, where are you? Why don't you come home or something like that? Like, I just think there are clues, even without showing his home life, that shows that he didn't have a wife. So I'm not sure if Kim is dying or they just break up and she goes somewhere else or something like that. Like, maybe she got, like, taken, like, you know, she went to, like, a big firm in a whole different city or something like that. It just doesn't seem like she's around when Breaking Bad time has come. Not like, oh, she was around the whole time. They just didn't show his home life.
Yeah.
This is my thought. All right, later.
Yeah, I mean, Jay, most likely you are absolutely correct. And I think the clues are that Saul doesn't really have anybody. We don't see him too often, but we do see that he's constantly working. He does really fight for his life when he thinks he is at risk at the beginning of the season when we first meet him. But again, my defense or my devil's advocate or angel's advocate here is basically keeps coming down to we don't see enough of Saul to really know anything. All he rarely said of his home life, I believe he said to Walter or somebody at some point in Breaking Bad that something about being divorced twice or something. So we know he bullshits to them and would never let any of his clients know what's really going on in his life, let alone one he does not trust. So it's just a hard thing. Again, I tend to agree with you. I just want to be clear. I don't think Kim and Jimmy are married or together in the Breaking Bad timeline. That would be a stretch. It would be a big stretch. I guess all I'm saying, I'm doing that classic ripping some stupid bullshit out of my ass and saying, oh, but it's possible. I don't know, Jimmy. We don't really see it much of Saul after that. Like, we only see Saul at the office. We see him in... Do we see Saul anywhere else but the office or showing up at the car wash once or twice to talk to Skylar? We never see him at home. We don't follow him like we follow the White family or Jesse or even Gus to a certain extent or... Gail or Mike. Saul is very much a cardboard cutout in a lot of ways on Breaking Bad. But I don't know. We only see him in that environment. So it's just one of those bullshit things I like to kind of put out there. But realistically speaking, Jay, I think you're 100% right. No way Kim is in the picture during Breaking Bad, Phil. Get your head out of your ass. I added a few colorful metaphors to what John Doe was saying right there to me. That's all, folks. Why am I still wearing these sunglasses? This is stupid. Yes, but Saul could have had Kim at home, but stuff was so bad they were avoiding each other. We were about to see Crazy 8 get flipped by Hank. Was Hank the bald guy that we saw running in there? Spoiler alert. Fast forward 5 seconds or 5 or 10 seconds in this video, or pause if you don't want spoilers. 1, 2, 3. It's been announced several times in many publications that Hank is in fact on this season. So Hey, Rom, great to see you in the live motherfucking chat. So, I think now's about time as any. It's I've meandered about, I've babbled and shouted. I don't know, babbled and shouted. That's a reach. But here I go. Recap. Okay, I'm tired. It's been a long day. And I don't want to whine. I don't want to whinge here, but I want to see. Let's look, because I'm curious. I occasionally do some walking, just like a crazy person. I just walk around town. You ever want to bump into me? You can drive around my town and watch. Okay, wait. I walked 11.22 miles today. 11.22 miles, and I wasn't in Vegas. But I am announcing right now, everybody, on the live motherfucking show here. Hi, everybody. Anyone that watches this. If you're a live motherfucking chatter, and you happen to be going to be in Vegas, when is it? When am I going? Oh, sorry, here's a quick announcement here. Quick announcement of, I think it's March 10th through Friday, March 13th. Ooh, Friday the 13th. I'm going to be in Vegas on Friday the 13th. If you're going to be in Las Vegas in any of those dates, please message me privately at igotissuesman@gmail.com. If you want to meet somewhere and get a motherfucking drink. Maybe lose some money at blackjack together or something. But whatever. If anyone happens to be in that area around then and wants to hang out, please do. And I promise I won't start screaming, recap! Well, I might. If I win a hand or something, I'll be like, recap that! There we go. Was Hank in Breaking... yeah, Hank is Walter's brother-in-law. One of the main group. The guy that gets Breaking Bad, whatever. Spoiler. The guy who gets shot fighting the twins and a whole bunch of shit, yes. The Walking Dead made me do a ton of meth and just crashed my car. Another great episode tonight, says Rom. I agree. What's worth, Negan and Alvin naked or Huell and Howard Hamlin in a scene together? I would say anything involving The Walking Dead is worse than anything involving Better Call Saul. Hank came out in tonight's episode. I saw a bald, stocky guy during the raid. Me too. That's what I was... Melly, I'm with you in that. I'm gonna fully back up anything Melly decides to do in the live motherfucking chat right now with Jay in the chat. So here we go. Recap of this episode. Is there still music going on? That's a very angry guy on that song right there. He's angry. Why does Howard want to have lunch with Jimmy? Probably he wants to do some sort of honoring Chuck thing in needing Jimmy involved, or he wants to celebrate him. Howard really give him some work, possibly. Howard, we've talked about this throughout the series. It got a little mixed up. It got a little weird, but Howard thinks of Jimmy as a little pet sometimes, in some ways. I think he has affinity for Jimmy. So it'll be interesting to see how that expands. I like how they're keeping Howard involved because I like the actor. I think he gives a very interesting, unique performance in this role, and a lot of layers. That's my word when talking about the show: layers and textures, and anything that doesn't have to do with television and has to do with food or clothing or something. I don't know, but you know what I'm saying, or art, dude, or fucking art. And yes, Hank was one of the main protagonists, characters on Breaking Bad. He was one of the core four. The core four. What is this? Not fucking OC. Core four, guys. Is that the right show? Core four. Someone OC correct me here. Do I think, I feel like this is a setup. Do I think Vince Gilligan is a good director and filmmaker? I think he is definitely a good show creator or head of the showrunner. I think he's the best television showrunner in the business. Specifically as a director, filmmaker comparatively to, like the Coen brothers, Martin Scorsese, Quentin Tarantino. As a direct filmmaker, I don't think it's not the same medium in a sense. I think Vince is at his best when controlling, being the puppet master and having other people work creatively, but kind of always having his hand in it. I think he is an excellent director. He directed the final episode of Breaking Bad, and obviously El Camino was all his baby in some ways. But I think Vince has an exceptionally awesome movie in him at some point in time that's going to be something completely different and out there, because I think he wants that challenge, and he will do that, I believe. But I think he's the best showrunner for me, almost in television history, because it's 2 shows now. I know Peter Gould essentially is, but this is both of them. So yeah. No, El Camino was a good push at the director's side. I agree, and it was good to see him flex that. And I think that's what was important to have it be a movie. I think he really is up for that challenge, and I think he is a great television director, and a great. I don't think that's his. I think it's something he can get better at, and he wants to prove to himself that he can do something big. So it would be cool to see him do some other project. Even though I love the Breaking Bad universe, I'm very curious to see where he takes his talents. But I think what makes Breaking Bad so amazing, I throw a lot of credit to Vince, and if I ever talked to him, I would lick his labia all up and down the place, right? But it is this whole team. It's a perfect storm of a really awesome creative team that likes to work together and creates a product that works back to back here. Pinkman will absolutely show up. I agree. Yeah, Breaking Bad was directed amazingly. Oh, Del Toro. Yeah, absolutely. Abso-fucking-lutely. And also, fucking yeah, I'm gonna say him. I'm gonna say his name. The classic director of The Last Jedi. They are killed it on some Breaking Bad episodes, directing as well. One of my favorite episodes of all Breaking Bad, directed by Ryan Johnson, Ozymandias. Robert, great to see you, Robert. Mwah. This board gives you a kiss. I will assimilate you right in your bum, you sexy bitch. There we go. Love you, Robert. Great to see you in the live motherfucking chat. Okay, so let's kick into this shit. One positive, if anyone checked out last night's podcast and you listened to some of those audio clips, what was I going to say, oral? If you listen to some of that oral... What? If you listen to some of that oral, if you listen to some of those audio clips, it was all scratchy. It was itchy and scratchy. But I was able to fix that. I figured it out. Didn't smooches to you, buddy. Didn't take long for Saul to get put in Nacho's world. Welcome to my world. Welcome to my world. Sorry, Melly. You can. We'll make you dinner too. You know, we'll dance, make some dinner, and for everybody to share. We'll make a buffet while we go into the other room. Okay, so they had better show that damn arcade and give us reason for Saul loving that place so damn much. I'm imagining that in Jay's words. Okay, guys, so here we go. Let's get into this shit. Give me some fucking music here. Can you, Borg sound man? Fail. I'm assimilating. No one cares. Only you like that because you're fucking stupid. So, where is it? I have to. I'm still out of slight practice here, getting all my shit together. So here we go. There we go. There's some porn music. I'm ready. I want some porn. Vince directs episode 8. Yes, and I've heard through the bullshit. I don't even want to tell you. Like, sometimes such fucked up shit goes through my mind that I want to say. And sometimes I'm like, I'm just going to let it flow. But then sometimes it's so fucked up the way I want to word something. But I read in an article somewhere that the people that have previewed a lot of the season, that particular episode that Vince directs is a big episode for the series. A lot of huge things happen in that episode. I'm going to play some fucking Motorhead. I'll play. How about play this? Can I play this? Do I know how to do this? No, I don't see. I wanted to play something else. I wanted to play open with group Windows mute movie player. Play this shit. Okay, here's some music from our good buddy Hannibal. Who did Saul plan on hosting for movie night at his house? Ernie and Huel. Cuddy, maybe Cuddy. You know, you never can tell. might be Kim and some of the guys at the what's his secretary's name? Forget her name. Here we go. Okay, everybody. This is your Hannibal O'Neill in the live motherfucking chat playing some lead fucking guitar. He wrote this. Here we go. So this hippie activity break is brought to you by Hannibal. Thank you, Hannibal. So here we go. Let's get into this fucking recap here. Yeah, damn, Hannibal can shred. Sorry, it's been a while. Like, Hannibal sent me that months ago to play. He was awesome enough to send me some sound clips. I asked him to send me some stuff here and there, and I've had it just sitting on my computer because I've been a lazy motherfucker. That's why. You know, I want to say I've been busy. You know, I've been busy, but what really means for you guys, the people that actually like watching me, is that I've been lazy. So fuck me. And there we go. There's some Hannibal shredding for you motherfuckers. There you go. So let's continue here. Let's continue. Let me get back to this stupid Joe loop here, because it makes me want to recap. Yes, it does. So we open up right where we left off last night with him giving us 50% deal, and how could I not play some sound clips from Better Call Saul when it actually doesn't sound like shit? So let's try this.
Special discounts for the next 2 weeks. Nonviolent felonies, 50% off. Yeah. Okay.
I'll take one.
Yeah, that's for you. 50% off. Yeah, all right, now we got some takers. There you are. Oh, yeah? Who else? 50% off. There you are.
You know, even if I don't play the sound cues, I just want to say, You know, it doesn't sound like... I don't even want to compare it. I was going to play something from last night just for comparison's sake. Feels so much better. Okay, so we open up right where we left off, and we focus on them. We focus on two guys coming out of this that are... I mean... They're funny characters. I love these two idiots. They're a cross between the Dude, Where's My Car guys and Badger and Skinny Pete. Whatever. We get an interesting montage of them being fucked up and just causing shit because they can have a 50% off lawyer. They know they have a 50% off lawyer, so they're going to go around and go get fucked up and have some fucked up times. So the editing in this scene was exceptional. This is one of those examples where you can shoot something awesome, you can direct something awesome, but if you don't have really tight editing that can pull off scenes like this, it's just not going to work. The timing's so important, and the intensity was up. Fun camera angles, really fucked up. This could have been stupid on the wrong show, but instead it was fucked up and awesome as they steal a gnome, jump fences, and steal shit. And they wake up the next day, and we get this funny Dude, Where's My Car moment.
Tuesday?
When is it, dude?
Tuesday.
You know what that means?
50% off, dude. Dishes are done, dude. And then we get the broken gnome. So we come back in, and we're in Nacho's house. Someone comes in, and they're fucking with him, and they grab him. And I mean, I could talk through this scene point for point. It's filmed exceptionally well, and it's done well in a scary way as Nacho tries to figure out who is coming at him. But it's Gus. Yo, it's Gus. Gus, he's in the Gus wants him to know that his family could be hurt. He doesn't necessarily hurt his family in this moment, but Gus comes into the car and lays the shit on the line. Oh, I just got a voicemail. I see who that voicemail's from. Motherfucker. Yeah. Can't wait. We got a fun voicemail coming up, hopefully. If it transcribed right, it did, and we did not lose the voicemail. Occasionally, I end up losing calls, but this one was not lost. So awesome! Very excited to hear from this person and get them back in the mix here for this season of Better Call Saul. And part of me wants to save it for when Joe's on here, but Joe will be back and we'll play these stuff as well. So let's play a little bit more of this audio as Gus comes into the car.
Get it. Just tell me what you want me to do.
Lalo Salamanca. I need to know where he is going, what he is thinking, what he is planning. I need to know what he's going to do before he does it.
I've been trying. Okay? He doesn't tell me shit. He just keeps talking about some guy named Werner Ziegler and some gringo Michael. That's it.
Gain his confidence. Make him rely on you.
How?
What's interesting, and I didn't really realize this then, is Nacho has a lot more control than he knows how to play people, because he is lying to Gus here in a sense. Not about the important stuff, but he does know who Mike is. He's just like some gringo named Mike. Like, he knows Mike. He has a relationship with Mike. So there is some deception. So whatever spider sense, television criminal spider sense stuff that Gus possesses, that we've been established in Breaking Bad that he has, and it extends here to a certain extent, or he's at least learning his lessons that he'll know not to make the next time. He is probably getting a sense that there is some deception here, but anyways, he wants to make sure Nacho is on his side, and he reports to him, and he does something to get himself closer to Lalo, to make Lalo respect him more. And then Victor gets back in the car as they flash the lights a couple times and say, "No dead dad." And Victor's like, "Oh, your dad's a nice guy. You know, I dig your dad. Your dad's not too bad." He's a fun one. Whoa. Get me that job. Get me that audition, Brian. I'll be like some dude he beats up. I don't care. Get me in there. Get me in the room. Get me in the room. I'll get the pot, Brian Dodd. Get me the audition. I'll make it fucking happen. I want to do it. I want to rag on myself. I want to watch something that I was in and come out here and totally trash my performance. That's what I want. That's a dream now. I have a dream. I'm still gonna do it with the play. I'm gonna get an audio clip of. I have one section. I have the monologue I did, and I have a fencing match that was in there. And at some point when we get Joe, we're gonna watch those, and we're gonna have Joe do his thing about it. Anyway, sorry. Okay, let's continue. So Gus wants Nacho to tell him all his secrets. Lalo's secrets. Tell me your secrets. Then we get the light flashes. One padiddle, which means no murder today. Gus gets out. Victor gets in. Says your dad's a nice dude. So then we get into Kim, who's looking in her closet for room, and because Saul is taking up all the space, you fucking asshole. And we get this little interaction.
I have this right. A Mr. Bertram Moran, a.k.a. BMO, claims that you solicited him for the purchase of narcotics when, in fact, you were simply enjoying a big gulp in the park when he approached and attempted to sell to you.
Turn off that commercial.
Oh, I got a live one. Yes, PJ, go ahead.
So, I mean, again, I can play a lot of this, but there's not much. They're just great, well put together scenes. But it's. I mean, we could play every moment. I could play you every line. I recorded it.
Saul Goodman, speedy justice for you.
I mean, it's funny shit. Watch the episode. It's great. Jimmy keeps trying to contact more clients, get more work, and Kim can't even look at him. I mean, that's really what this scene's all about. Excuse me. She's trying to pretend here, but she's already given up in this relationship. The minute all of this happened, everything that came to head at the end of season 4, and the way she's looking at him now, I'm sorry. Whether it's when we're young or when we're in the late half of having a long-term relationship that's reached, we've all had people look at us this way, the way that Kim's looking at Jimmy. That's what I love about this show, the truth behind a lot of this stuff. At least I've felt it. I mean, sometimes you can get it back. And she's looked at Jimmy this way before, but not as intensely and as with so much finality to it that it seems, right? And it's sad to see because I don't think Jimmy is completely aware of it at this point. And that's what's going to make when she does disappear, however she disappears, when she decides that she's done with this situation and Jimmy is living on cloud 9 if he thinks that they have a true future. When it gets to that point, it's going to be such destruction, the final piece of humanity that's left inside of Jimmy. The final piece of, and again, I don't like such simple terms because I think, as I've said before, it's all of him, but in the sense of what symbolizes the good in him. You know, any minor morality to try to do the right thing sometimes, even with his evil powers, is gone when Kim is gone. Because I think it's going to be a huge fall for him. And then all the pain is going to hit him. Finally, he'll be hit by the truck. Finally, he'll be hit by everything. And he'll completely shut down and fall completely into that persona. Right around the time when we meet Walter. And then that signals the end of his life, which equals into the Gene timeline, which maybe ends with, I don't know. Again, I'm just throwing shit out the wind now. We know he's going to deal with the taxi guy. We obviously didn't get any more of that. I hope they break the norm this season. I've said this every season. You can go back and listen to these podcasts. Please go back and listen to these podcasts. They're all here on YouTube. Go back and listen to our Better Call Saul recaps right back since season 1. But I feel like I've said in every season, I want more of the black and white stuff. I want more of the Cinnabon, Saul, the Genes stuff. And as we're reaching the second to last season here, the penultimate season, I think people just want an excuse to say that word sometimes. Or I do. I just want an excuse to say that word. It feels dirty. But a pen, it's ultimate. But I feel like we should have one more of those scenes this season. But most likely, realistically speaking, we won't see what happens with the taxi driver situation until the beginning of next season. If everything is consistent, and then maybe we'll get a lot more of that. I'm kind of feeling like we will get a whole episode of that in the final season, but again, that's just my fucking shit. but I think it happens long before he meets Walter. It could happen long before he meets Walter. That's just the years of watching too many fucking Disney movies and 80s sitcoms where everything works out even is stuck inside me somewhere. You know, as much as a show like certain shows, Oz, Deep Space Nine, The Sopranos, kind of changed my core of what you can expect from a television show. I'm still ingrained with shows like Cheers and fucking in the like of that era where everything's tidy and ends with a bow to a certain extent, and even the dramas at that time. You know, every episode of Quantum Leap. I mean, not every episode ended happy, especially not the last episode. Spoiler alert: no one was happy. Especially the fans. Okay, so Kim's in the closet. She hates Jimmy. So we're followed up with an excellent camera angle as she's in her car getting ready, finally finding a moment of peace as Jimmy rips on in. He says, "Oh, come on a second. We gotta go somewhere. I've got some shit to show you."
Just 3 blocks from here.
Right there.
Look, I know you got to get to work. This will only take a couple minutes. Please, just drive. If we go right now, it'll be over like that.
Which way?
Take a right.
So this is the point where she takes him to where they go to the house. They pull into this awesome driveway. They look at it. He's got like 45 clients now. Maybe one day they'll have a house like this. It would be amazing. They check out the house. Jimmy's living the dream. And she falls into it again here in the middle. She's conflicted, and she's trying to set up her boundaries.
On our way.
She's like,
Jimmy, I know you were trying to help, but
stay the fuck away from me. I mean, my clients.
I don't want to lie to my clients.
You're talking about the fridge guy? That was a dumb idea.
I mean all my clients.
Basically, stay the fuck away from me is what she's saying. And she's trying to, because she loves Jimmy. And even if she gets to a point where she can't stand being around him, again, to go real situations, we've all been in situations like that. You love someone, you care about them, whether it's a friend or a loved one, but you get to a point where I can't be around this fucking person. If I'm going to keep this person at all in my life. If I'm going to keep this person in my life, I can't fucking see this person. Because if I do, I'm going to want to choke them out. Or I'm going to hate myself for being attached to the bullshit that they do, which I think is more the case with her. So let me take a small break here. Let someone else do the talking. We got our good buddy. We got a couple of voicemails from him, but we got our good buddy back. What I love about doing this podcast and doing it for so many years on and off through ups and downs and huge audiences and small audiences and whatever. The thing that I love most about doing this for so long is there's certain folk that I've been lucky enough that listen to all my bullshit, whether they know the show I'm talking about or not. Come on and listen. There's people that pop in for certain shows or just watch us or to hear Joe rip on The Walking Dead or hear us talk about other bad shows or hear us talk about specifically about Game of Thrones or Better Call Saul or Vikings or whatever. And Big J has been somebody that consistently every year he pops his head in occasionally through some of the Game of Thrones stuff would pop in here and there, but every year comes back and checks us out on our Better Call Saul. And now it's been an even longer break with a longer break on Better Call Saul. And it's great to have Big J motherfucking back here. So let me lean back, relax, and let Big J take over the show for a bit here. And great to have you back, my friend. Here we go.
Big J's back. Better Call Saul's back. And my buddy Feeling Dirty Joe back. You guys always been around. Great fucking 2 episodes, man. Best 2 fucking episodes in TV of all time, possibly. Especially last night. I meant to call you last night, Phil, but I didn't watch it till this morning. I was caught up in another show for me.
I also agree that I loved both episodes, but last night's episode had me a little bit even more like, oh god, this fucking shit's back. But the way the 2 episodes worked together were exceptionally awesome.
The outside, and I fucking fell asleep That's another great show, The Outsider. Stephen King shit. I don't know if you guys are watching it. But, yeah, just to touch on last night's episode, that cab driver scene was fucking sick, bro. I love the fucking jean, black and white shit. That cab driver, I know that actor. He's always plays a bad guy. I think his name's Don Harvey. I remember him from Casualties of War when I was younger.
Oh, fuck yeah. I was trying to place the movie I want. Casualties of War, great movie with Michael J. Fox and Sean Penn. What's interesting about that movie is that you don't often, most Michael J. Fox movies have him playing some sort of comedic role to a certain extent, but that's a very serious movie where he's doing some serious acting up against Sean Penn and some other people as well. So thank you for finally helping me place where I probably recognize that actor. And you're right. He's one of those guys that kind of generally plays a bad guy. And great to see Bernie in the live motherfucking chat. Just finished the episode. And great to have live from Staten Island back, says Bernie in the live chat too, for Big J. So let's continue with Big J's message, and I'm going to keep interrupting it, of course.
Sean Penn, that was a great movie. He played a real sick scumbag. Guys always thought to me, there's a reason that he's the cab driver. Something bad's going to happen with that dude. But anyway, fucking great episode last night. Tonight wasn't as good, but it was an awesome episode also. You know, it's all coming together now. He saw there's no turning back. And if I got one criticism of the show, it's a little bit, I hate to say it because I love her, but fucking Kim's getting on my fucking nerves. You know? 1 minute she's down for anything, and then the next minute she's trying to play the fucking nun, you know? And, you know, I had a girlfriend like that once, you know? She'd be knocking me for doing this, and then she wanted to do it with me, you know? I can relate to that. I like the way it opened up tonight with those two fucking morons. Just because they got 50% off, they're willing to get fucking locked up. I don't know what guys that didn't give a fuck if they got locked up. And just did stupid shit. You know, I wasn't one of them, thank God, but I know idiots like that. You know?
I've been in the car with idiots like that. Said, pull over the fucking car and let me out. I was once in a car with Joe and our friend Nick and two other people that I won't say because that's kid Charlie and this kid Timmy. And my friend Nick had just bought in a car and he was getting ready to drive it cross country from drive it from Massachusetts to Oklahoma, not half cross country. And he decided to get a little drunk and drive around the car like a fucking idiot and just kind of joyride in a parking lot and up and down the street, like in this sort of abandoned area. There wasn't a lot of people around or anything like that, but he was just like kind of like driving around like an asshole. And I'm like, stop the fucking car. Finally, he pulled over on the side of a street, but it might even been my street. And we pulled over the car. I'm like, thank God. I took the keys, and we look, and under the hood starts spouting out fire. Like not even kidding. It looks like little Mario fireballs, you know, that shoot out of King Koopa there as you're trying to run to, you know, my princess was in another castle. Like, it looked like little fireballs like that shooting out of the car. And then we all were like, what is that? What is that fire? And then we all just ran out of the car and ran around. But we called the fire department. They came down and put it out. It was spouting out some fire. The car didn't blow up, but of course, you know, bunch of fucking stoners and fucked up kids that act like fucking shit fucks. Just sprinted from that goddamn car like a bunch of crazy bastards. So yeah, I wish Joe was here to corroborate the story, but yep, Joe was there as well. So yeah. There we go. Okay, let's finish Jade's message here.
Just the montages, the character, the acting. It's just fucking awesome to have this show back. I'm glad it's on again next year. So, all right, I'll listen to the rest of you guys recap. I'm just glad, and I'm not John Doe, by the way, Phil. I heard you say that in the recap from last night. I watched it today. I don't do the. I love the I love the fucking the crew you got there, but I'm not into that. I'd rather just.
No, totally, Jay. I had just thought, my mind when I start doing this stuff goes to Jay being in the live motherfucking chat. We got one more message from Jay that I'll play in a little bit, but let's get through a little bit more of the recap. And it's great to have everyone joining us, and I appreciate everyone, but it's awesome to have Jay come back every year in Papa's Head. I love the people that come back for certain shows here and there because I don't get to see them as often, as much as I love all the folks that I'm lucky enough to have them pop their heads in no matter what the bullshit I am talking about. Kids can't get away with this shit these days. We lived, motherfucker. I love Bertie the Burnt Blunt. So checking out the house that Jimmy's living the dream. She's conflicted again, but she's trying to set it up there, and she starts to fall into the dream, falling in that maybe it's possible, maybe we can get to this point. There's a chance because again she wants to love Jimmy, or she does love Jimmy, and she on some level she knows. She really wants to make this work, I believe. But, so they check out the amazing shower, and she gets Jimmy all wet. It's amazing. It's great stuff. Wonderful Bug. I am back. I am here. I'm going to be here every week for Better Call Saul. Finally, a show that is motivated me enough to get my shit together and change my schedule around a little bit to make sure that I'm here for almost every week of it, at least. And hopefully we'll be back again one more time this week, as I mentioned earlier. If you're watching this much later, you can just check out the next podcast and see if it actually happened. But Joe and I are planning on doing a podcast on Thursday afternoon, probably around 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, to get Joe back. So yeah, hopefully we'll be getting a lot more podcasts and live streams out there as I start to try to get my shit together here and get my bearings after I was on a break, then I came back briefly, and then I got involved in the theater thing, and then I was gone again, and now so it's kind of a whirlwind that I'm out of practice and out of my rhythm here. So I gotta get back into it here. So thank you for all of those that have stuck around, as I mentioned yesterday as well. Thank you to our patrons that have kept me going and kept me being able to do this on some level and at least keep the wheels moving here. So I appreciate that. Okay, so let's continue. So she's conflicted big time, blah, 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 blah. It's a nice house. Maybe someday, maybe. Could this foreshadow the real future, or is Jimmy just living a dream? So back in, we see Hector full on wheelchair, ringing the bell. He gets this berry shit drink, dumps it out, and they get half of it, and they give him some booze. And I talked about this scene earlier. They're talking about what Gus is building. It's an excuse to get Hector on screen, the actor playing this character again, and he kills it. And it's awesome to have them on screen playing this role. And it helps us get to know Lalo better, see how he takes care of Hector and make sure he has the best stuff, and gets him drunk as well too, and is protecting him. So it just gets to the point where they know that they can't do anything with Gus because he makes too much money for the cartel, and and that's again the prequelitis of it. Of this particular scene was I knew anyone who's familiar with the Breaking Bad storyline knows all of this information, so it's nothing new in this scene, but it's still a well put together scene. So we go off to Mike, who's having a bad day, and the phone's ringing off the hook, and then he's just ignoring it. You just hear all the beer cans around as his cell phone rings now too, and it's Stacy, his daughter-in-law, who got called to work in the last minute. So can you watch the kid? And he's like, how long? When? Right now? And his Mike's like, oh, I'll be right over. I almost want to play it just because it's fun to listen to Mike talk.
Okay. Bother you?
No, don't bother, honey. What's up?
I don't know what your work schedule is like these days.
I'm still making my own hours.
Well, I just got called in. Emily's busy and...
No problem.
Are you sure?
Those kids were up for 3 days.
I'll be happy to watch you. But what time do you need me there?
How about now?
How about now? How about go fuck yourself? No, I know he's trying to do a good thing here, and he is. But it's I love that sort of stuff. Could you help me out? Yeah, I can help you out. When? Now. Could you? That's how bad shit happens, right? People just rope you into doing shit when you shouldn't be doing shit. When you're in an antisocial mood, no one ever calls you and asks for your help when you're feeling productive, right? At least that's my experience. The experience with me. Whenever I'm just in kind of like, I can really deal with people, and I'm really in like a fun hangout or getting shit done kind of mood, and I'm trying to get stuff done around the house. But if someone asks me to do something, I'm kind of really helpful. And I'm not saying that never happens. It happens a lot of the times. I'm in good kind of moods when it comes down to it, a lot of the times. But when I'm in a grumpy mood, when I when I bit the inside of my mouth and something's sore and I don't want to talk, and I'm laying down on a pillow, when I've gotten into a fight with someone I care about, and when my camera's all unfocused. Come on, what the fuck's going on? Thank you. When my camera keeps unfocusing. You know what I'm talking about. When we have days like that. Everyone has those days. When I have those kind of days, those are when I'm approached by somebody to say, hey, you want to be on this big thing here? You want to do this special thing? You want to perform here? You want to do this? Can you help me move? Can you drive me to the airport? Can you do this? Can you do that? Can you touch me with a wiffle ball bat? Whatever they want to do, it always ends up on those bad days. Granted, I've been having a bad day for 6.5 months, but still, no, I'm kidding. John does like, I can't imagine me not in a good mood. It's I'm still talkative. When I'm in a bad mood, it's a big variation. I'm sure if we go back, there is a podcast somewhere, someplace where you probably could see me in a bad mood. Maybe not that airs. I probably have taken it off or something. I know I guest appearanced on another channel once upon a time with a very good dude and one of his another channel that he's connected to, and I'm not gonna get it. And it got heated on there. Where I think that video has long since disappeared. But there are people out there that saw that, and it got pretty crazy. It got pretty intense. You got to see the really douchey side of me that can come out sometimes when I'm pissed off. You know. Someone said he can't imagine me not in a good mood. Not that you're not a douchebag. No, fair enough. Phil, can you drive me to the airport? It's not the last second. Can I ask you in advance 2 hours ahead of time? Sure, Jay. I can do it. I'll be to New York in a second. I'll get you to LaGuardia in 20 minutes flat. Zippity doo da, zippity yay. I gotcha. What's going on, dude? No, it's more because when I turn over here, it goes. But yes, sandwiches do that. Do I have to do the whole podcast with my Al Capone sunglasses on, so I don't feel self-conscious? Hey, dude, should I be this dude now? Hey, where you just see sunglasses in my face. When I used to do my the radio show on the college radio station, like when I first started doing any silliness like this, this is generally how I would do the show, like physically like this. I'd be, hi everybody, what's going on? Hi, this is Phil. Yeah, I'm doing the thing. Yep. Mm-hmm. Okay, we're over here. Yeah, I'm Spaghetti Tuesdays here on the podcast. I'm not on the podcast, on the radio show. Tonight we're gonna play some music here. That's generally like I'd hunch over and have a pair of sunglasses on and just rat into the microphone. What I meant was driving someone to the airport isn't a last second question. You should ask a person in advance. Yes, but I was also saying I would come and drive you to the airport if need be. Okay, so let's listen to Pup Pup being a dick.
Don't let her sweet talk you.
Oh, not a chance of that.
She's got to learn her times tables. She's on the sevens.
Fucking times tables.
There's lasagna in the oven, and I should be back for bedtime.
It sounds good.
Okay.
See you later.
If Mike can't do this, can I do it? Because there's lasagna in the oven. Like, what the fuck? You put lasagna in the oven, I'll babysit your kid. Because, I mean, who doesn't like lasagna? WKRP in Cincinnati. Woo-hoo. Yes, that was it. Oh wait, volume up. Oh no, play. I'm all over the place. Audio, what's wrong with you? Oh, here we go.
What do you got?
Sevens are the worst.
Oh, here we go. I thought I lost track of my audio clips, and I thought I had Mike yelling at Kaylee, and what I wanted to hear there.
7 times 3.
I don't know why I thought you lived in New York, not DC, but yeah, DC would be hard.
4 touchdowns equals 28. Plus another one makes 35.
Drop you off at was it?
Kick ass.
You don't talk like that. Who taught you to talk like that?
You did, motherfucker.
Come on. 7 times 8.
That's a lot of touchdowns.
It's a lot of touchdowns. It's a big
So yes, he teaches her the timetables of the sevens through teaching her football logic, which works. You know, whatever works with the mathematical stuff. It's tough.
Where are we at?
55?
So you think the kicker missed the extra point?
Oh no, it's 56. 7 times 8 is 56.
You got it.
My dad liked the Eagles, right?
Yeah, he sure did.
That yup, sure he did was shut the fuck up about your dad. I don't want to talk about him.
Was he good at math?
Come on, kid. Come on, kid. I know you're young, but read the room.
Thank you.
Yeah, your daddy was a smart kid. A good student like you.
Did he want to be a policeman when he was my age?
When he was your age. You know, I think he went back and forth between an astronaut, deep sea explorer.
And then Mike kind of is like, okay, I'll go with this a little bit.
Who?
You don't know Jacques Cousteau.
Mm-mm.
Well, we'll fix that.
So instead, my dad decided to be a policeman. Like you.
Yeah. He makes sure there's a...
Again, a kid. Shut the fuck up, kid.
Even.
Don't poke the Mike bear.
And he was a really good policeman, right?
Oh, it's not even close. Having driven cross country twice in a couple different directions, but we could spell it out. One of these days I'll go through it, all the different trips, but I kind of wish we've gone the trips when streaming was as easy as it is now, and next time if we go on another one at some point, I'll definitely stream through the whole trip. But definitely driven a lot cross country through. I've been in almost all of the states, the continental United States. I haven't been to Hawaii or Alaska. Have been to Puerto Rico. Have been to Canada and Mexico. But so like a lot of North America. All in all those fucking places, Boston is definitely the worst driving. It's like not even close. Boston sucks to drive in. And the areas that are okay to drive in, the roads suck. It's just very small. There's some towns and some areas where there's just like tiny fucking roads. It's packed like ants on a piece of trash. It's tough. It's a tough little area to drive. I mean, maybe that's just my opinion, but yes, it sucks. It's horrible. It's tiny. It's gross. Okay, so teaching moment, touchdowns. Mike.
Yes.
Yes. Shut up.
And you taught him.
The fuck up.
But the bad guys got him.
I told you to make those even.
And I hear what Jay is saying there, what SM Down is saying, is she's a kid wanting to know about her father. How he feels is irrelevant. It is to a certain extent in the reality of the situation, but I'm sort of joking with this to a point of her reading the room. You're right about her. She's a kid. She's an innocent kid that's just asking questions, and she wanted to know questions about her father. She has no clue, realistically, or should she, how to read the fact that Mike is getting agitated here, that her pup is already in a pissy mood. So his ability to kind of hold back his temper is already limited due to his lack of sleep, drinking a lot the last couple of weeks, dealing with the whole fallout for quitting the Gus situation, and what happened with Varner there. So all of that is built up. Not to mention now she's pushing with questions about his son, which is a very hardcore sticking point for him. It's understandable his explosion here, and she has no clue that she's doing it. But, it's fun to just say, If this kid was going to be the best poker player in the world, she'd be able to read the fucking room here, dude. I'm just joking.
No, you're not. You're making a mess. You either do it right or you don't do it.
But I want to do it.
You're done. You are done.
That's where it gets line crossing. You're done. You're done, kid. He says it's so dicky.
Done. I told you to make even.
You're done.
I am.
No, you're not.
You're done.
You're making a mess.
You're done.
You either do it right or you don't do it.
But I want to do it.
You're done.
You're done.
You're done.
You're done. I gotta save that sound cue for when we take calls and someone's made their point, or when I have a guest and I want to shut them up or something. Just go.
What?
I am.
No, you're not.
No,
you're making a mess.
You're making a mess.
You either do it right or you don't do it.
Do it.
But I want to do it.
You're done.
You're done.
You are done.
You're done. I love it. I love that sound cue. I need that. I need to cut that up. Make a note. Make a note, Data. Yes, Captain. Okay, good. Thank you, Data. Yeah, that kid almost got whacked. He really did. She really did. I mean, she was close. She was close to being put on the shit list. Sounds like my grandpa, says John Doe. Oh my goodness. Okay, so it's a teaching moment. So and then Mike's pissed. Mike's pissed. You fucking pissed.
Where's Kaylee?
She's in a room.
She's in her.
She won't come out. She didn't eat dinner.
Why? What happened? Mike.
It might be the new "Shut the Fuck Up" Joe for the for 2020. It might be the 2020 "Shut the Fuck Up" Joe. I love it. Okay, so let me continue here. Oh, that's a lot of fucking shit. Okay, so they go off to the douchenards from the opening. They get hooked up, and they want to get a large amount of the drugs here. And as we get set up from the last episode, and I love the continuation from episode to episode, we see the cool processy of which the Salamanca crew do their drug dealing, where you pay the person in front, and they signal to the person in the house that drops them through the through the pipe down into people's hands. I often like to, and again, I wish Joe was here to talk about this with me. We had a similar house that we used to go to back in the early days, and in a world where marijuana in some states is as easy as walking into a store and buy it. This is speaking of Grandpa. Back in my day, there it is. Let's play some back in my day music. Do we have any old music? Classic rock? Yeah, that's right. Let's go. How about this? No, that's not old school. I need some like old man music or something. Back in my day, to get some weed, we used to have to do some weird shit, like yell at people on the side of the road, like, you got any weed? Now you can go to a store. But anyways, so what we used to do is you'd have to like go. It was almost very. I can just talk normal. It's very similar. You would have to. There'd be someone that was like a 2-family house, and you would give money to the person on the first floor, and then the window would open up from the second floor of the 2-family house and drop it down into your hands. So, and there were these like little dime bags in those. We used to call them Barbie quarter-pound bags. You know, those like tiny little bags, and they just like drop it in your hand. So there we go. And yeah, bye. So, here we go. Done, my friend, done. So, here we go. And, hey, good to see Lauren in there. Bernie, have an amazing evening. Always amazing to have you in live motherfucking chat. Great to have you back. And thank you, Lauren, for your help out there. Okay, so let me take a quick motherfucking break and play the second one of Big J's messages.
Yeah, Phil, I had to call you back because what you were just talking about, I know you were a little, the voicemail and the, what you're saying is a little bit, you have a time thing, but you just hit on a fucking beautiful point, man, how this show just speaks the truth and how you can identify with it as the regular guy, like, you were talking about how Kim was looking at Jimmy. Oh man, I've been into pretty long relationships, and it's always it gets to that point where the girl looks at you like, well, at least they look at Big J like, you fuck up, like they outgrow me.
Yeah, no, it's true. Like, and I was talking about that earlier. Everybody gets to that point where they get to that point where people just start looking at you, and it's over, and the relationship has just already ended, and you just can't. I don't know. You just can't. You can't go on anymore. You know, it's you've reached that conclusion point, and it's a sad thing to see. And they just look at you like, no matter what you do, no matter what choice you make, no matter what you say, you are fucking up. It's tough. It's a tough situation. So let's continue. With the rest of Jay's messages here.
That's why I'm just chilling, nice and single right now. I'm actually living with my daughter right now and my granddaughter. Big J's got a granddaughter now. So, yeah, another thing I wanted to say was this Lalo guy, man, he's making the fucking...
Hi, great to see you, buddy.
I love this guy. He's fucking crazy bastard. He has no fear. Him and Gus, man, obviously we know Gus is going to win that battle, but fucking... one other thing, man. My daughter got me into watching Westworld. I tried to get into it a couple of years ago when it came out. I just couldn't catch the fucking thing with the cowboys and the robots, but she made me watch it, and I got through the first season, and I'm now fucking hooked on that show, and that's coming back next month.
Nice. Hopefully you'll be...
All right, that's all I wanted to say. All right, I'll talk to you guys next week.
Big fucking Jay joining us, and thank you so much for jumping on there, and thank you for Lauren for handling things, and yes, Jonathan, ooga booga, my friend. So it's great to have everyone here popping on in the live chat, and let's continue here at the end. And I see we got another message from Jay that I will play a little bit later. We got two J's. We got Big J and we got SMJ, and yes, I know. SM. I know it has a lot of different meanings there, but let's continue. So where do we leave off? Yeah, Mike yells at Kaylee because he can't handle the situation. We're back off to our deuce nards from the opening part of the episode, and I was mentioning how I dealt with a similar drug situation, not down the drain pipes though. And this is a very funny scene where the drugs gets trapped. Thank you, Lauren. It was a lot of fun and something I hope I get to do again soon in some context. It was and I appreciate that. It was a whirlwind. I can't believe it's over already, but it was a lot of fun. And yes, this podcast could be subtitled "The Feast of Jays." I'm probably knowing new copyright laws just because of that like audio clip. This video is gonna get flagged, so you might be the only ones to ever listen to this. You never can tell these days. Okay, so we go off to the Salamanca poker game after the drugs get caught, and we see this is interesting, okay, because they're playing in this poker game, and Lalo bluffs Crazy 8. So let's listen to some of this audio.
Fairground spot's doing really good, lots of traffic.
Nacho tries to talk business while they're in a hand. It's like, don't talk fucking business while I'm in a hand. And he bluffs them, and then I hate these guys at poker games. You know? Like, if you're at a poker game, I don't care if it's your house or your game. If you win a hand like that, don't look at my fucking cards. Don't need your fucking ass licked anymore. 200. You don't need that shit. Don't look at the cards. It's rude. Is that cold one or is this the cold one? This is the cold one. It's rude. So Crazy 8, ironically or weirdly, I don't know. I don't care. I don't care about cheesiness like this, but it is kind of cheesy that he has trip 8s. Whoa, shit. Good thing the camera wasn't on. My beer just gushered all over me. It spilled all over me. We've got a gusher. We have a gusher.
And then you fold at the river.
But yes, Crazy 8 has the 3 and he folds on the river. It's weird. It's when you're playing poker against your boss, do you try to beat them? I do. If you're sitting at a poker game, there's no bosses. You're playing fucking poker. You try to win. I used to work at a restaurant, and I don't know. I've told the owner of this restaurant about this podcast. There's a chance he could listen to this. And we used to play poker out back. I saw him take money out of the register after losing money in our poker game to me and bring it out of the register and put more money into the poker game. And he wonders why that business went out of business. But whatever, I did it, and I beat his ass. You know, I'm not especially a great poker player. I'm passable. He just was really, really bad. But it was one of those poker games that you dream your whole life to be in, and you hope it lasts a long time, but it didn't last a long time. It was over a 6-month period of time while I was working there, where I made more money beating the boss in poker than I was making in tips as a waiter. And I purposely would take less tables. You know when if anyone's ever worked as a waiter, there's a big argument about getting tables. You know, you have to Saul Goodman your way to getting tables. You're like, with the host, you're like, give me more tables. You know, you try to balance as many as you can, to get as many tips as you can, whatever. I'd be like, give me less tables, and then I'd go out back and play the boss in poker. He was just really bad, but he was really. He'd also buy scratch tickets all the time and shit too. He was one of those addicted to gambling things, and you know, instead of helping him, I enabled him, and his business. I don't know, his business went out of business. It's not my fault. I'm not a bad person. Okay. I wouldn't do it if my boss was Lalo. Good, excellent point, John Doe. This guy was a big fuzzy, friendly dude that just really liked the gamble. So yes, Crazy 8 doesn't. But Crazy 8 also gets a message that something's wrong on the drug site, as the dudes that some guys are saying that they got ripped off. I kind of yada-yada'd through the last scene where the guys kind of make a big stink about losing their money and not getting the drugs, and they start banging on the pipe, and they're like, well, you got your drugs, but it's a whole big thing. Crazy 8 gets called in on it, ultimately, and Nacho tells him to go take care of it. So the dudes want the stuff, and they're annoying about it.
So we're getting our shit. Yeah. Where's our glass? We gonna kick your ass. Yo, give me the mic so I can rap about this pipe. Yo, my name is Mr. Sticky. I'm pretty freaking tricky. Gonna kick you in the dicky.
What does that even mean?
Cause I'm Mr. Flicky and I'm so tricky. You're tricky. Oh, shit. Hey, we still get our glass, right? Yo.
So the cops come as they're trying to sneak out all that stuff.
Is your vehicle?
No, sir.
Want to come down here?
No problem, officer.
What you doing up there?
Just fixing a drain pipe.
Fixing a drain pipe.
Some kind of block.
So Crazy 8
Guess you fixed it.
Crazy 8 gets fucked, and right at the wrong time, again in a very television kind of funny way, it gets tapped, and the drugs fall out right in front of the cop, and he thinks he fixed it. Perfect timing. Bam, bam. You're fucked, Crazy 8. You go into jail. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. Oh shit, I closed my notes by accident. What the fuck is my problem? What kind of asshole am I? As I have to waste some time here. See, this is me yada-yadaing in, wasting time. As I have to open up a new file that does the same thing. And I can't chew gum and... See, I'm having real technical difficulties. I wanted to do fun technical difficulties, but now I can't. So yes. So I want to read what Jay said there. He said, if I were playing my boss, I would gauge their ego. If I thought they had a fragile one, I would lose. If he or she didn't care and wanted me to play my best, I would. I mean, that's the truth of it. You need to gauge the situation individually. Crazy 8 is a pussy. No longer impressed that Walter killed him, said John Doe. So, let me scroll over to here. There we go. Okay. So, yeah, the dudes want their stuff. Let's play more of this. Play more of this, you fucking... What the fuck?
Gotcha. You're going down.
Okay, so I don't know what that... Okay, so Nacho... of course, the cops show up, and it's all fucked up. So Nacho and Lalo are watching, and the situation as we come back in from our commercial break.
He was stuck up there.
Shit. Whole block's crawling.
You got the stuff? You got it?
Nah. I had to leave it. They were on my ass.
Why? Shit's gone now. These assholes are gonna turn the whole place upside down. How much is in there? Almost a full load.
Yes, Lauren, I got very, very excited. My beer splooged. See? It's true. I'm a beer... Again, why am I self-censoring there? Because I'm not formulating the thought, but I know there's something dirty there involving prematurely something. But yes, there's a lot. It seems like there's a lot of technical difficulties, and now I have to turn these off one by one. Oh my god. Oh no, these violent delights. But I wanted to touch on what Jay was saying there as well. I hope Jay, you will join us for some Westworld season 3 stuff, which I'm excited for and interested to see where it goes, and is relevant to our discussion here in the sense because. Yes, if you don't know, Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul fans and El Camino fans, Aaron Paul is theoretically, because you never can tell in that fucking show, he could die in the first fucking episode, is seemingly a big part of the next season of Westworld. Premature eradication. I like that. I like that a lot. That's a good band name. So they're watching this whole situation, and they're in danger because there's drugs left in the house, and they're fucked as the DEA SWAT team with a very interesting looking short pudgy bald guy in the mix. Maybe could be our buddy Hank Schrader. Maybe not, but it could just be a foreshadowing bald DEA agents in the future. But either way, they're up against it. And then we get an action scene of Nacho turning into Batman here as Lalo's calling him an idiot and calling him a fool as we see Nacho scale the roof of the next door house of the drug house. And he jumps over the roof, does roof to roof jumping over to the house next door, goes in, gets the drugs, evades the SWAT team, and makes it out back into the car in time, saving the drugs. No, I was talking about Big J. That was a reference to Big J there, Jay. I'm gonna call you from now on. I know your name is JJ, but I'm gonna call you SM for Better Call Saul stuff to avoid confusion with Big J. So I'm gonna call you SM down, Jay. Well, you know it's we're one J family here. So Nacho's Batman. He escapes right time. Lalo respects him now. So we see Saul doing his warm up. We flash over after that whole situation to Saul doing his warm ups.
Suzanne, I think we have something in common. Bill.
What? Am I on?
As we kick in to a Saul montage.
You look great. We've got to talk, Bruno. Leader.
Leader? Lost cause.
I beg to differ.
He assaulted a minor.
That oaf, you call him a minor, I call him a menace. Hey, my featherweight was simply defending himself against your raging bull.
No sale. Leader's doing the full freight. Welcome back to the law, McGill.
It's Goodman, and you'll be back. Hannah Banana.
Hi.
Hey, what's the word on moving trip to Thursday?
It works on the calendar. I just have to check with the other side.
Consider him checked. Veronica.
I love how when we get into Saul being Saul, the music changes. It's much more into like a snappy, like we're
long sleeves.
Dun, 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 dun.
Pull your hair back and lose the hardware. Her honor doth protest a chin pillar.
But it's gonna close up.
Into every life a little rain must fall. Meet me outside courtroom 103 at 2:15. Mitch, what say you to moving trip to Thursday?
It's just it creates this like happy feel, Saul Goodman being Saul Goodman.
Suddenly, Leader has witnesses?
Poetry in motion.
People step up.
From the sewer?
Life's rich pageant. Who are we to judge? Anyways, they saw what they saw. Your beefy, if youthful hooligan, cold-cocked my small potato. So what do you say? Sentence suspended, 6 months probation, 70 hours community service?
So then,
Congratulations. You're back in the saddle.
So then we get to Howard. He bumps into Howard.
So, Saul Goodman?
Yeah, that's me.
Saul Goodman. And we talked about this a little bit earlier, but Howard basically just, excuse me. Oh, yeah. That technical difficulty was a nose rub. I don't know what the rub is with nose rubs, but I've talked about this before. There's something inherently weird, gross looking. If I just go like that, like it's, you wonder how far the finger goes in there, especially on a live stream situation like this. So I feel like I need to every time I need to scratch my nose, I have to go like this. Yeah. So, oh wait, no, I'm supposed to go like that. I see. I'm not. I'm too out of practice to do sight gags like that, so I should shut up now. Thank you, Benjamin. You are the best motherfucker out there right now. You get my motherfucker. Hug. You get the motherfucker hug. Thank you, Benjamin. That's awesome of you. That's awesome of you to say, my friend. Okay, so we have something in common. Okay, where are we? Oh, yeah. We go over here, this one.
Of 16 cases. So you're busy, I'm busy. How about we do a lightning round? We'll settle these puppies 20 minutes.
Don't you already have an
Now, he asks this other lawyer, this district attorney or whoever she is, to just hammer things out. She says no. It becomes important later. New stream, the fingering of nose scratches. I'd watch that. So we go to Lalo cooking, and Nacho asks him if what he should do, and we see in this scene that Lalo's starting to respect or give Nacho a little bit more freedom. He's proven to him that he has balls with breaking in and getting the drugs. He was given the perfect opportunity to do what Gus tasked him to do, and he took advantage of the situation. He's putting himself in danger, and it's scary for Nacho fans, but it worked, and we've proceeded that storyline along to the point where, and again, that's what I like about episodes like this, that are texture episodes that used to be called, in a sense, a filler episode or something that kind of fills storylines. I like when things actually happen and move along. And I'm not calling this episode a filler episode, but I'm just saying it was moving the storylines to the point where we're going to introduce whatever big drama comes in. But it still had some results as well. Again, that's what this show does that other shows that mail in episodes don't do. It makes sure that each episode has something, has some importance, some way of pushing something forward, some way of topping off a story or introducing a new one. Each storyline is, and again, this term is overused, but you're living in an organic world. Sometimes a pulpy world that can be over the top, but that's okay if the rules of the world are established and work within it. So, okay, let's continue with this fucking shit, right? I'm starting to get a little too buzzed. I'm starting to get buzzed and drunky because I've had 2 beers and I'm a lightweight when it comes to drinking anyways. Okay, so yeah. Okay, so there's not much else to say about that scene. Lalo seems a little worried about Nacho, like I fucks him as he drinks his beer, and as he asks him about Crazy 8, and if Crazy 8 how long has he known him? Does he think he can trust him? As Crazy 8 is probably going to do some time here. Those of you who have seen Breaking Bad kind of know where this is going, but I don't want to talk too much about Crazy 8 in Breaking Bad right now, because I do know that for some people that have watched Breaking Bad and are big fans of the series and have followed this all the way through, it's hard to imagine that there are people out there that are watching Better Call Saul and have not watched Breaking Bad, but it does exist. So, what happens to Crazy 8, I kind of want to be vague about. But I think we do know there's a conversation he has with Walter that gives a little bit of information about what is about to happen to him, if I remember correctly. It's been a little bit since I've seen Breaking Bad. Time to watch Breaking Bad again. So Lalo is eye-fucking him a little bit, too. 2 beers minus a half a beer spill. Very true, I missed having you in a live motherfucking stream, buddy. Great to have you in there. Okay, so Saul gets himself trapped in the elevator with the right person. So this district attorney will not have a moment with Saul to hammer things out and get through some of these cases quickly, because that's what he's trying to do. He's trying to do quick turnaround. And I kind of zip through it, but in that Saul montage, it all ends off with him talking to one attorney that just is like, I know what you're doing. You're trying to quickly get clients in and out and make as much money as possible. I'm not going to help you do that. Wait till fucking Tuesday, asshole. You know, like, we have a meeting already set for Tuesday. Why are you trying to get this done on Friday? Shut the fuck up. We'll meet on Tuesday. And he's like, so she kind of calls him out on it. So the other district attorney, he gets himself trapped in the elevator to kind of get it all through. And we get this whole scene with the two of them, which is very fun, very well done.
See ya. See you tomorrow.
Okay, let's review. Your sister Nancy attacked your girlfriend, also named Nancy, with a curling iron. I'm gonna need a face-to-face so I know who I'm representing. Look, I'm in an elevator. Now I'm gonna lose you. Hello? Okay. Oh, no. No. Hey! Hello!
Hi, this is ADA Erickson. We're in the South Bank of the supposedly working elevator.
Damn it!
Please. Sorry, we're stuck between floors 2 and 3. Yeah, how long? Thanks.
And?
They're sending someone. It's gonna be a minute.
I picked up the Borg initially just to say that Saul resistance is futile. That he gets you. If he wants to get you, he's gonna get you, and he traps her here, and they work through all their cases.
No. A dedicated citizen with a voice that needs to ring out.
Name one.
I'm sorry?
One of the cases.
What, one of our cases? Let me think. Veronica Nix.
Motor vehicle theft?
With mitigating circumstances.
Such as?
It was her aunt's minivan.
That's already baked in.
It was parked in the driveway. The old lady was berating her, so.
So what?
So, good luck finding a jury that's never been reamed out by a relative.
One-year probation.
Sold.
Just like that?
Yep.
And we see in this situation how Jimmy starts to do business as Saul Goodman. Just as quick as possible, as low pressure as possible, so to get people in and out as quickly as possible to maximize your profits. And people are, especially in this 50% off sort of situation, you just try to get them in and out as swiftly as you can with as little work as you have to do. And that is work unto itself, but it is his style, and he has a plan, and he's just trying to get through this to get the motor running and eventually try to get some high-profile clients, probably, or high-end clients that require a lot of time and money, so he can pay more attention to them and then have the regular stuff that pays his bills and pays all of his regular day-to-day stuff be the in-and-out burger element of the lawyering. Yeah, I would thank him too. He does a pretty good job. I mean, he'll push for the best deal, but he's pushing for it swiftly. He won't argue and push and push and push unless you're paying him extra to do that.
Say we look at Jerome Sheehan. So full year supervised for Drew Kirkman.
How about 18 months?
18 it is.
So, I mean, we're getting towards the end of the episode, so I'm wanting to play more of all of this. It's fun. He's doing great business. It's a good day for Jimmy.
We got Tanika Berman. 4 months jail?
The vampire stunt? That was negligent arson.
Well, it was more of a prank gone wrong.
The knife was real.
Yeah, but it was used as a prop.
Come on.
Was
Used
the
as
fire a prop?
a prop.
The blood was fake.
The blood was
How is
fake.
that relevant?
Petty misdemeanor.
Plus 4th degree felony.
But you dropped the property damage?
Keep the weapons charge.
14 months jail.
16.
16.
Plus fines TBD.
Plus fines.
TBD. Yeah, it's good stuff right there. Good scene. Seeing, again, Saul Goodman for the first time. Jimmy McGill is a different kind of lawyer than Saul Goodman. And what we saw in the first half of the series, he still uses that Slippin' Jimmy thing, but the character that he creates as Saul Goodman is a very different identity. I guess that's what I'm saying. In the different identity in the sense of his legal identity and what he's doing as a lawyer. It's quick, in and out. There's a word, turnstile. That's the word I've been looking for all fucking evening. Turnstile attorneying. So That's not necessarily a term, but that's the word I've been looking for in my head. So he's doing more business, but he's having a great day, and he's running around. He's eating an ice cream cone. It's a good day for him.
I gotta jump. Saul Goodman, Speedy Justice.
Oh, I forgot to mention. So he says, please do business with you. And the elevator gets off. Excuse me, they did 3 cases
doing business with you.
in 5 minutes. And they're going to meet on Tuesday to finish the rest of the business. Good day for Jimmy. So he's been a good chunk of his 45 new clients that he has. It's going in a good direction for Jimmy. He's feeling good. But someone is following him. What's going on here? It's scary. Who could be after our hero Jimmy McGill? Saul Goodman. And number 33.
I gotta jump. Saul Goodman, Speedy Justice for you. Miss Howard. Hey, have I got good
Who's
news?
following him as he eats his ice cream cone?
Jousting, but long time no see.
It's Nacho.
Get in.
Get in the fucking car. Nope, I can't do it.
Your timing isn't perfect. I'm a little swamped right now. We're just going for a ride, or
Opens the door, you're getting in the fucking car. And I point to when Jesse and Walt brought Saul out to the desert. He said, did Ignacio bring you here? Ignacio's lying or something like that. So he fears in some level Nacho, so he's in a tough position here. I don't know. That's interesting. I don't know if he legally changed his name or just changed his business name to Saul Goodman. But when he signed something, he signed it as Jimmy Saul Goodman McGill, for whatever that's worth. Oh yeah. That's a good scratch. So he gets in Nacho's car. The ice cream drops to parallel, as John Doe was saying earlier. I believe it was John Doe that said that. Good morning, Forrest. Great to see you. Great to see you in the live motherfucking chat. And we're at the end of our episode here. He gets in the car, drops the ice cream to counteract them, to parallel the gnome earlier in the episode, and sad ice cream. And we focus on the ice cream, which is perfect. Like, lands perfectly on the ice cream top, and it's looking like a wizard with wizard's hat, like in Friendlies, what they serve in the kids' meal. They turn it into like a little wizard. And he gets Nacho's car and he drives off. What does Nacho want with our Saul Goodman? Where could we go next week? I didn't see scenes from next week. I ran down here and did the podcast quicker, so I didn't get a chance to watch that. But I'm excited. Better Call Saul's back. 2-night premiere was really fun. I agree with what Big J was saying earlier. I did enjoy last night's episode a bit more, but tonight's episode was awesome as well. And I think both episodes worked extremely well together, whether they were a back-to-back 2-hour premiere or having it be 2 nights back-to-back. I think these 2 episodes were an excellent way of starting this season, just to show that the show is not that it was in doubt, but when a show is gone for so long, I tend to forget what it feels like to watch it. And certain shows in this back half of this television era that we're in, that, some could argue started with The Sopranos, then leading us to this point. Some of my favorite shows have taken extended breaks during certain stretches. Whether it be, Game of Thrones, The Sopranos even did that. At one point, it didn't look like there would be a final season of The Sopranos. A lot of people that forget that, but at one point, it didn't look like we'd ever get, and the series would a proper ending, even though some would argue we never got a proper ending. But at a certain point, it looked like the series would not come back. So it's interesting right now. I will see you next week, John Doe. Hello, Forrest. Hello, Forrest. Forrest Gump. And you're not Forrest Gump, but every time I see the name Forrest, it makes me want to say that. It's really a fucked up thing. But yes, I just feel that. I don't know. What was I fucking saying? I was saying some shit. I was making the point. But the alcohol got me there. And I lost my point. Oh, that shows will take a long time. That a lot of my favorite shows take big chunks, and it looks like sometimes you might not get other seasons and they come back. This is a big, long break for Better Call Saul. So getting back into that mood, getting back into that mindset, getting you back into the feel of what this show feels like. Watching it and binge watching it on Netflix and all that kind of stuff, it feels different to me watching a show like that than watching a show week to week. When getting it week to week, feeling what it feels like at the end of an episode to want more and have to wait. It's a different kind of way of feeling watching it. And it's something that I don't get a lot with a lot of shows because I binge watch most of my television programs right now. There's very precious few shows that I will watch week to week. Better Call Saul is one of them. So getting back into it with a 2-night premiere, I like that. I like how AMC is trying to push this show, and I made fun or was joking earlier about a lot of articles coming out about Better Call Saul's back and it's a great show, the best show that's underreported, not as popular as it should be, amazing show, people are sleeping on the show, all that sort of stuff. That's obviously AMC PR stuff, and them paying some of these blogging entities to put out these articles about how Better Call Saul is an underrated masterpiece. It is, but there's a lot of those articles coming out, and AMC is the type of company that does that kind of stuff for promotion, especially leading into next year being the final season and hoping that it can have the kind of commercial and crossover appeal that Breaking Bad did in its final season. But it's not that kind of program, but we're going to get to see the show end in its way, in its fashion, because of the successes of Breaking Bad. AMC is giving Vince and his team and Peter and the whole group basically a blank check to finish this series any way that they want. Seeing the end of Game of Thrones, almost wish that show hadn't come back. The end was disappointed. Lauren's like, I need some coffee, and woke up about 4. I know. What time is it for you, Lauren, right now? As I'm starting to wrap things up here, I think I have one more voicemail from Jay. I'm not sure what this says. Here we go. Let's play this.
2 things. One, do you think that maybe him blowing up at the girl will maybe help his situation out in the future because he won't be asked to babysit anymore or whatever, and he'll just not really have to deal with that anymore? And 2, don't you
Number 1, I think Mike's going to have to... I'll go with your joke. Yes, he's finally going to have to be off the hook for having to deal with those last-minute calls about, hey, can you babysit in 20 minutes? Can you help me move 5 minutes from now? Can you drive me to the airport now without any warning? Yep, that's the ticket. Oh, shit. Here we go. Let's see.
And 2, don't you think it's about time you retired Peter Baelish's voice from this voicemail? He died on Game of Thrones, and Game of Thrones is no longer on the air. Don't you think it's, time for you to, leave someone else's, have someone...
Very fair, Jay. And the reason why I keep that on is because it's a pain in the ass to re-record those voicemails. And I was lucky enough to get David, the Walking David, to record that. But let me talk to David next time. I know he's been busy lately, but next time I talk to David, I will have him record me a new voicemail greeting with somebody else in the future. And it's 6:20 a.m. where Lauren is. Amazing. And I know it's not amazing. People are like, amazing. Yes, it's amazing that the times are different in different places. But time zones and that weird thing, like when you're talking to somebody and it's like, oh, hey, it's 7:21 for Forrest. It's 6:20 for Lauren. It must be 4:20 somewhere for somebody. I always think that's really cool. It's interesting, that perspective of the complete different feel of your particular universe because of the time, because it just feels, the world feels so different when you're it's Lauren is just starting her day. For me, it's 1:21 in the morning, and fortunately I'm taking Tuesdays off of work for most of Better Call Saul season, but so I don't have to work in the morning tomorrow like yesterday, so I can kind of be a little bit more relaxed at the end here and not quite rush off. But ultimately, I'm starting to get a little tired. It's my bedtime, but Lauren's starting her day, gonna have her morning coffee. Time zones are fun. I love it. It's just one of those like obvious things that still I find such amusement in. Like, oh my god, it's so different. Because you're like, we were like talking right now, and it's like a different time and shit. It's so stupid and so simpleton-y, but I love it. It makes me happy. Okay, so he gets in the car. What could Nacho want with Saul Goodman here? I mean, it's obvious what he wants with him. He wants him to help out Crazy 8 in this case, which again starts to get Saul closer to Walt and Jesse. Because we know that Jesse's buddy, Saul, got him off a lot, and he knows Crazy 8, and he knows that this was the attorney, that Jesse will find out that this is the attorney that Crazy 8 went to, so he'll have his buddy go to. So I think this is all more ways of getting Saul closer to that world, to getting into an environment where he was ready to set up to meet Walter. And no, I don't necessarily think the series definitely ends with that meeting with Walter, but I do think a lot of Jimmy's journey here as he becomes Saul Goodman through the Nacho storyline leads him to making himself aware to Jesse, which allows him to become aware to Walter, which creates his ultimate demise. I mean, it's important, and it has to be important in my mind to the Better Call Saul storyline, having the Gene storyline mixed in here. And because of having that here and seeing the outcome of the Breaking Bad thing, and even last season when we saw that Breaking Bad scene essentially in the show where he was emptying out all of his money to set up more Gene stuff later, that money isn't really an object for him. But it's just tough. It's tough to see where this ultimately ends up. I don't know. I'm very excited for this show to be back. Very excited to see where it goes. I'm a Time Lord. I am in the future. My future. I'm in the next day. Yes. So, oh my God, I'm getting all blurry again. That's a visual representation of how I feel right now. So everybody, thank you so much for tuning in tonight or this morning or whenever you're listening to this. It's been so much fun to be out here these last 2 nights. And hopefully I'll be back one more time this week. I'm going to say most likely, because you never can tell, I will be out here on Thursday afternoon with Joe for a quick stream talking about the new Picard episode generally, but also talking about a little bit about Joe's thoughts on this episode of Better Call Saul and the episode of The Walking Dead. And also I know he wants to talk a little bit more about the Jason Segel show coming on March something or other that he's very excited for. So yes, everybody, thank you so much for checking this out. Much appreciated to both our Jays, to Lauren, to Iron Throne, to Forrest, to John Doe, to any other of our friends that popped on in here. Ooga motherfucking booga. If you haven't already enjoyed this video, please hit the like button, please hit the subscribe button, share the channel with a friend. It's going to be a fun year, talking about a lot of great shows. I was mentioning this earlier, and Joe mentioned this in the message, but we have a fun stretch coming up here with Better Call Saul starting now. We also got the Ozarks coming back at the end of March. Westworld coming back March 15th. I feel like I'm missing some other stuff that's also popping up soon. We got Picard going on right now. Cobra Kai in April, I believe. It's going to be a fun little stretch for television here for me. and for Joe. So we're going to have fun talking about it. And yes, The Walking Dead is here. I got to catch up on Vikings as well, which I will. I know some people really want to hear my thoughts on this half season of Vikings. I feel bad. This is the first season of Vikings I haven't talked about in a while, so I do want to catch up on that. Again, obviously, The Walking Dead, some movie stuff, some other music stuff, some silly stuff, some love for the live motherfucking chat. You guys are amazing. Good night, good day. I'm going to have a fun day off tomorrow and then doing some music jammy stuff. Also want to do some live rock and roll, playing some live music for you guys coming up soon too. Gotta really wait, press, hit that one more time. There we go. I know how to say goodbye like 57,000 times. As I mentioned before, I'll be in Las Vegas in March. Join me for a drink if you happen to be out there as well. March 10th through March 13th. Have a drink with me. I'm fun. Bye, Jay. Thank you so much. Jay, you're really helping a motherfucker out, buddy. Thank you. Love Jay. Love Lauren. Love Forrest. Lauren, huge hugs. Ian, thank you for all the support and all the love. Thank you. I'm stalling. I don't have to go to sleep. It's time for an after show, motherfucking after show. It's time for after show and after motherfucking show. Okay, everybody. Okay, everyone. This Better Call Saul stream is over. It's over. But do you know what's not over? Dun 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 dun. Captain Picard. Okay, I'm still really enjoying the 2 episodes of Picard. Am I really gonna do this now? No, I should save this for the Joe stream. Everyone.